right, so you're here, which means you're ready to jump into the chaos that is the wrench-turning Trainwrecks Fantasy Baseball League.
And that draft is coming right up.
This Sunday,
Sunday.
March 23rd at 7 p.m. Eastern.
Don't be late.
So get that on your calendar. Get those alarms set.
Absolutely.
A lot of you in this league.
A lot of you.
This is a work league, by the way.
It is. It is.
We know a lot of you are probably new to this whole fantasy baseball thing.
Yeah, first time.
Which is why we're here.
Yeah.
We're going to try to extract just the most crucial insights from some expert advice to give you at least a fighting chance.
A fighting chance.
When you walk into that draft room or virtual room or wherever you're drafting from.
Exactly. Feel prepared.
And we're going to focus on those draft strategies so you don't feel overwhelmed when you're on the clock.
Yeah, you don't want to just be like, oh my God, what do I do?
So first things first.
Yeah.
Forget what you think you know from last year.
Oh, yeah.
Because these experts say Major League Baseball is changing constantly.
Always changing.
What was a winning strategy last year might not be so hot this year.
And I think what's really wild is just how fast things change.
Yeah.
Like you said, rule changes.
Oh, right.
Player trades, even just kind of like the way teams are approaching the game, it's all constantly evolving.
So you go in there thinking like, oh, I saw this highlight on ESPN from last year. That's how I'm going to draft.
You can't do it. You're going to be lost.
Yeah, it's like driving with an old map.
Yeah.
Things have changed.
Exactly.
The roads are different now.
Speaking of changes.
Yes.
One of the big ones we got to talk about. Stolen bases.
Oh, yeah.
Steals are way up this year.
It's a different game.
And that's because of the new rules.
The new rules, exactly.
Which is good news for you new fantasy players.
Yes, very good news.
Because you don't need to spend a high draft pick on a speedster.
Nope.
You can find them later on.
Absolutely. Way more flexibility.
Yeah.
It's a good thing.
All right. So thinking about the early rounds of this draft.
Okay.
The experts are basically unanimous on this. Oh, really?
Early on.
Yeah.
You need to focus on power and average.
Okay, power and average.
Power, like we're talking guys who can hit 30-plus home runs.
30-plus, big boppers.
And average, we're talking about, around .280 or better.
Solid, consistent contact.
Yeah.
These are your workhorses.
Yeah, those guys are going to carry your team.
That's the foundation.
And this makes sense.
Yeah.
Because those guys are harder to find.
Much harder.
As the draft goes on.
Yep. You're not finding those guys in round 10.
You might find a guy who hits a ton of home runs.
Right.
But his average is going to be terrible.
Right. Or vice versa.
Or a guy who's got a great average, but he can't hit the long ball.
Exactly. You want that combination.
And to really hit this home,
I'm listening.
The experts use Juan Soto's 2024 season as an example.
A good example.
Imagine a guy with 576 at-bats, hits .288, 41 home runs.
Wow.
Even chips and a few stolen bases.
Little speed. Nice.
Like .989 OPS.
That's fantastic.
That's what you're looking for in those early rounds.
Yeah, that's a guy who can anchor your team.
Now, one thing you need to be careful of,
okay,
especially as a new fantasy player,
yeah,
is this thing called specialization.
Specialization.
You might see a guy who hit 45 home runs last year.
A huge power number.
And you think, oh, I need that on my team.
Gotta have it.
But the problem is, what if that's all he does?
Right. What if that's all he brings to the table?
What if he hits .220?
That's not going to help you much.
And strikes out a ton.
Exactly. It's a one-trick pony.
Yeah.
And what happens if that one trick doesn't work anymore?
Yeah, what if he gets injured?
Right, or just has a down year.
And the experts, they give some examples of these guys who are specialists.
Oh.
Kyle Schwarber.
Yeah, big power.
Anthony Santander.
Another power guy.
Cal Raleigh.
Lots of dingers.
But that's really all they do.
Right.
And then you got guys like Luis Arias.
High average.
Yeah, he'll hit like .330.
But not much else.
But no power.
Right.
Doesn't steal bases.
One-dimensional.
And Bryce Terrain.
Speed demon.
All he does is steal bases.
But can he get on base to steal?
Not really.
That's the problem.
So the experts, they talk about this idea of a balanced contributor.
Balanced contributor.
And that's what you want, right?
Yes, absolutely.
You want a guy who's going to give you a little bit of everything.
Right. A 5-tool player.
Home runs, RBIs, runs scored, batting average.
Maybe even a few stolen bases.
Yeah, if you can get it.
A little bit of everything.
And that way, if one part of his game slumps a little bit,
yeah,
he's still contributing in other ways.
Exactly. It's about consistency.
All right, let's move on to pitching.
Okay.
Specifically starting pitchers.
All right.
And this might go against what you think.
Oh.
But the advice here is be careful about spending a super high draft pick on a starting pitcher.
Really? Even the studs?
Even the studs.
Wow.
Because starting pitchers are just risky.
Oh, I see.
They get hurt a lot.
True.
They can be inconsistent.
Ups and downs.
Even the best guys have bad outings.
And their teams are so careful with them these days.
Yeah, they're on pitch counts.
They get pulled early.
So even if you draft a guy who's got like a 2.5 ERA,
Yeah, a dominant pitcher.
there's a chance he's only going to pitch 5 innings that week.
That's not ideal for your fantasy team.
And the experts specifically call out 2 guys,
Oh, who are they?
Paul Skeens
I've heard of him.
and Tarek Skubal.
Yeah, young guns.
They both had incredible 2024 seasons.
They did.
But even with those numbers,
Yeah.
the experts are saying, be careful about spending a top pick on them.
Okay, interesting.
And they also say, don't do the pocket aces strategy.
Pocket aces. What's that?
That's when you draft 2 elite starting pitchers in the first few rounds.
Oh.
Because you're essentially putting all your eggs in one basket.
Yeah, too much risk.
What if one of them gets hurt?
Right.
Now you've wasted 2 high draft picks.
And you might not have a good offense.
Exactly.
You need to score runs to win games.
So what do they suggest instead?
Yeah, what's the alternative?
Build a strong hitting core early.
Okay, makes
Get
sense.
those power and average guys.
Right.
And then you can focus on starting pitching in the middle rounds.
Middle round.
Like rounds 4 through 10.
Interesting.
You can find some quality arms there.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because like we said, pitching is volatile.
Right, up and down.
So a guy who might be projected to be like the 20th best starter,
Yeah.
he could end up being a top 10 guy.
Or he could be terrible.
Or he could be
You
terrible.
have to gamble.
But if you do your research,
Okay.
you can identify some guys who have a good chance of exceeding their draft position.
I like it. Find those sleepers.
All right, now let's talk about closers.
Closers. Okay.
Guys who get those saves.
Important in fantasy,
Very important.
especially in our league.
And this is specifically for Yahoo leagues,
Okay.
like the wrench-turning train wrecks league.
Gotcha.
You don't need to reach for a closer early.
Don't need to.
In fact, they say you can wait until like picks 145 to 200
Wow, that's late.
and still find a guy who could get you 30 saves.
Seriously.
Seriously,
That's valuable.
very valuable.
Especially at that price.
And they even give us some names to consider in those later rounds.
Oh, who are they talking about?
David Bednar,
From the Pirates.
Jordan Romano,
Now with the Phillies.
Ryan Presley,
Cubs.
and Kenley Jansen.
A veteran. He's on the Angels now.
All these guys,
Yeah.
they're all in line for saves,
At least to start the season.
at least to start the season.
You can get them at a discount.
A discount.
That's smart drafting.
And they even say you can look at muddled bullpens.
Muddled bullpens. What does that mean?
That's when a team doesn't have a clear-cut closer.
Oh, I see.
So there's multiple guys who could get saves.
So it's a guessing game,
It's a guessing game.
but it could pay off.
It could pay off big time
If you guess right,
if you guess right.
high risk, high reward.
And the experts, they mentioned a few teams.
Oh, who are they looking at?
The D-backs,
Okay.
the Tigers, the Red Sox,
Interesting.
and the Rangers.
So you're basically taking a flyer on a guy, and he wins the closer job.
And if he does,
You look like a genius.
you'll look like a genius.
And if he doesn't,
You could drop him.
no harm, no foul. It's
Exactly.
a late round pick anyway.
Now, another position where you can be patient,
Okay.
this is in a one-catcher league like ours.
One catcher, yeah.
You don't need to draft a catcher early.
You don't.
Not really.
Interesting.
They do say that William Contreras is probably the top guy,
He's good.
and he might be worth an early pick.
Yeah, I can see that.
But after him,
Yeah.
the drop-off isn't that steep.
So you can wait?
You can wait.
I like that.
You could probably wait until like pick 160 or later
Wow, that's late.
and still get a quality starter.
That's amazing.
And they mentioned a few names.
Who are they talking about?
JT Realmuto,
Solid veteran,
Shea Langeliers,
up and comer,
and Logan O'Hop.
another good young catcher.
All those guys you can get in that range.
Yeah. And then if you're really feeling frisky,
Yeah.
you could go even
You
later.
can wait until like pick 250.
Wow, that's like the last round.
Yeah.
Who are they looking at there?
Austin Wells,
A prospect.
Ivan Herrera.
Another prospect?
These are guys who are high risk.
Yeah, they might not even make the majors.
But if they
You
do,
could have a steal.
you could have a steal.
I like the strategy.
All right, so we're getting into the later rounds of the draft now.
Okay, the end game.
And this is where you want to focus on upside.
Outside.
You're looking for guys who have the potential to outperform their draft position.
Potential is the key word.
Potential.
So high risk, high reward.
High risk, high reward.
You're not afraid to take a chance.
And the good thing is, if it doesn't work out,
You can just drop them.
no harm, no foul.
The waiver wire is your friend.
And one of the best places to find upside
Okay.
is with rookies,
Rookies. Yeah.
especially rookies who make the opening day roster.
Because that means they're playing right away.
Exactly.
They have a chance to contribute.
And the experts, they say you're basically trying to find this year's version of.
Okay.
They used some examples from last year.
Oh, who did they say?
Jackson Merrill,
Okay.
Colton Cowser,
All right.
Lewis Gill.
Yeah, those guys all had good years.
But it's not just rookies where you can find upside.
Oh.
You can also find it with
Who else?
potential closers.
Right. From those muddled bullpen.
Type sleepers.
Post-hope sleepers. What are those?
Those are guys who were highly touted prospects,
Okay.
but haven't really done much in the majors yet.
Oh, I see.
But they still have the potential.
So they could break out.
And then bounce back candidates.
Bounce back candidates.
These are veterans who have a track record of success,
Oh, okay.
but had a down year last year.
So you're hoping they return to form.
Exactly.
I like it.
But one thing you want to avoid
Yeah.
in those late rounds
Yeah.
is drafting veterans who have a low floor.
Low floor. What does that mean?
That means they're not going to be much better than replacement level,
Oh.
even if they have a high ceiling.
So they're not going to win you your league.
You want guys who have a realistic chance of exceeding their draft position.
Right. You're looking for those sleepers. The most important advice.
The most important advice.
I'm all ears.
Get your guys.
Get your guys.
Do your own research.
Don't just listen to the experts.
Identify the players you believe in.
Right. The guys you like.
And draft them.
Even if it goes against the grain.
Don't be afraid to be a little different.
Be bold.
Because the experts warn against the regret
Yeah.
of watching a guy you liked
Yeah.
ball out for someone else's team.
Oh, that's the worst.
Because you didn't have the guts to draft him.
I've been there.
So trust your gut.
To an extent.
Do your research.
Right. Do your homework.
And don't be afraid to go with your heart a little bit.
Yeah, it's your team.
So as you guys get ready for the wrench-turning train wrecks draft
It's Sunday.
this Sunday,
Can't wait.
we hope this deep dive has given you at least some idea of what to do.
Some ammo for your draft.
So when you're on the clock,
Yeah.
remember what we talked about.
Power and average early.
Be smart with your pitching.
Don't reach for closers.
Find some upside in the later rounds.
And most importantly,
Have fun.
have fun.
This is supposed to be fun,
It's a game.
so relax.
Enjoy it.
And good luck.
Good luck, everyone.
We'll see you on the other side.
See you at the draft.